you imagine yourself charging into Xenos filth or conquering the galaxy for the greater good? So do we. Join us as we chat all things tabletop without taking any of it too seriously. Welcome to Third Space Tabletop Talks.
Hello and welcome to Third Space Tabletop Talks. I am one of them on here, Stephen from When I Can Hobby.
I'm Seb from Let's Geek It Out.
Good boy.
I'm Ben from Jedi Archives.
I'm still Josh.
And I'm Jack.
And yes, Jack, we have, as you can see, some of you might see, we have Jack with us. Jack, would you like to tell us what's your Instagram handle and where can people find you?
Oh God, I didn't expect to actually talk about myself.
It's
I'm
a podcast.
Iolanthus. Okay, well, I didn't expect that much. I was just like, okay, well, moving on. No,
Jack, what are your thoughts on wheat production in the Weimar Republic?
Well, so you see, from my point of view... No, I am Iolanthus Imperium. I just paint whenever my attention span allows me, as you can see by the countless empty shelves of grey behind me. And I'm one of the many, many listeners who are like, where the hell's my podcast? Every so often. And I'm here to make sure that it happens.
So we've got one of our listeners on tonight, but luckily we got the Feral Painter, our other listener, so he can keep the listens going up.
Yeah, we said we could only get 50% on in one go.
Yeah.
One at a time, boys.
So just a quick shout out to Feral Painter. Met you at the UK Games Expo. It was great to see you, and love your work, and looking forward to hopefully getting you on the podcast at some point. Anyhow, let's bring it back. So guys, we've got Jack with us today because we've got a couple of things to be talking about tonight. One of them is the UK Games Expo, which myself, Ben, and Jack went to, and also the tournament that we are going to this weekend at the Bristol Grand Tournament. So when we release this episode on Thursday, we'll be traveling up the next day, getting ready for the tournament. So obviously we're all going to the tournament, so we're going to have a bit of a chat.
We'll still be painting it.
Oh, so I'll still be painting. I've got quite a lot left to do still.
So first up,
Quick question, Jack. Where the fuck is this melter meant to go?
I don't know.
I found a melter. I've got a melter. I found it in the kit. I've got a bile predator.
We'll have a little...
What's this supposed to be?
Duh.
Is that not the optional one that you can have pintle mounted instead of a storm bolter?
That's what I thought.
No, it just says you can equip it.
You can have it as well.
Oh.
Like, you can have all the things.
So anyhow, bringing it back to the people who are listening and haven't got a clue what you're talking about.
No, sorry, Steve. Yeah, this is more important. Right, where the am I supposed to put this melter?
Sanguinius needs to know. It's just coming up with photos of Predator. Like, I don't need this right now.
Coming out with pictures of Gary Glitter.
Oh, God.
I was literally about to say that. I said no. Seb, being sensible.
I think if me listening to this has taught me anything, sensible is not the not the standard.
What the hell are you on about?
Predator near me. It's like,
Why is
outside
that?
you.
0.0 miles away.
Oh, fuck me. That's the first 5 minutes cut.
I just cut out straight away.
No. So anyhow, bringing it back so people can actually listen to a podcast and instead of our insane ramblings for at least 5 minutes. So start off as we always do. We're going to quickly dip into the news in the Warhammer world. A couple of big things. Well, one big thing has come out: the Horus Heresy, Horus Heresy, the new Saturnine box. So, guys, what are your views on? What do you think about?
I still don't know where to put my melter.
I think we'll let Josh spearhead this one. I feel.
Well, yeah, our Horus Heresy correspondent, Josh.
He's the Horus Heresy man.
The Horus Heresy.
He is the Horus Heresy.
What do I make of it so far? I think that the box and the models in the box, I'm really excited for, particularly the Saturnine Terminators and Dreadnought. Always been a big fan of the really, really old sculpt of the Saturnine Terminators. The only reasonable way to get them was to buy third-party models, because the only official sculpt, I think, was from something like 1989 or something like that. It was an old metal model, one of the prototype Terminator models that they sculpted. So really interested to see the Saturnine Terminators actually get an official release in plastic. Not quite convinced yet on the changes that they've subsequently announced about leadership. Seems a little bit I don't know. I mean, we'll wait and see. I'm interested. They've got my attention.
Rooting
We'll
on
see
sixes, so we'll be good.
We've got Josh's
yeah.
attention so far for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I'm interested because I hate it.
So, Josh, tell us more about what used to be your favourite game system.
Yeah, well,
He's going through the motions right now, just like.
as long as they don't announce Ben's favourite thing to taunt me with, which is, oh, you can wound anything on a 6, I'll be fine, as long as that's definitely not part of it.
So apart from, I mean, obviously you're the leadership stat, which is a bit interesting. We've got the Saturn. I mean, I'll be honest with you. The first time I saw the Saturn 9 armor, I was a bit like, because it literally reminds me of 80s shoulder pads, like, you know, and having like, you know, Val Kilmer back.
I've seen the old art style with the meme where it's like the pauldron comes up to like here, and it's like all the way down to like the middle of the waist.
Or it's like, you know, Val Kilmer and Batman when he has to turn left and he has to turn his whole body, like, you know. So it's that kind of thing.
I won't hear a bad word said about Val Kilmer.
No.
However,
Do not speak ill.
however, the animation to me then made him look cool. Do you understand what I'm saying? Suddenly, I was just like, okay, no, I get this. No, I understand this. It all works.
I just like
for
it
me.
because it's all just like beefy, giant,
It's bulky,
like,
yeah.
As you can
It's
imagine,
really-
it's
yeah.
like it'll be bloody terrifying seeing something that big just stumble towards you, and you're like, yeah, there's no way I'm winning this.
It's really weird because like when I first saw them initially, I was like, not sure, and I watched like the reveal video, and I was like, all of a sudden something just clicked, and I was like, I actually like these. And when you saw the sheer size of them compared to the other Terminators that are currently in the Horus Heresy, I was like, yeah, it looks like I'm going to start Horus Heresy.
Yeah. So on that though, we are all of us. I believe all of us in first base are going to be delving into the Horus Heresy. We are. So
Josh is so happy right now. He's
Yeah.
got people to play against.
so we.
He is until they change the wounds.
Yeah.
We're playing second edition because I hate everything else.
First, it's fine as well.
I'm just seeing that beard grow straight out of your neck there, Josh. Like, you know.
Get it off me.
So no, but all of us we're all jumping into it. Obviously, anyone who's listening, let us know in the comments if you're jumping into heresy or if you're doing any heresy. But what
And
legions
why the word bearers are the best army.
So I was just about to say, what legion is everyone doing? What is the legions everyone's going to be doing? So starting with,
I bet any money. I can't guess what Ben is going.
no, I don't think any of
There's
us.
three options for red.
There's one option for red.
So Ben, start us off. What army are you going to build?
Let me go and get them for you.
The suspense is killing me.
I can't.
So I've just started on the Sons of Horus.
He wants to be on the good side of this.
Obviously not. There we go. Started work on Dominion Zephon. It's Blood Angels, mate.
Nice man.
Sorry.
Enough said. That's something.
Working my way through these puppies.
Getting over.
Yeah. I mean,
Getting
why?
I was going to say, getting over to
I
you,
don't
Josh.
understand why you'd need anything else, to be honest with you.
Josh's army is like just Mars.
I mean, we're saying starting to build. Josh has already built 12 armies.
Yeah,
Off.
Are we running Titan legions?
Look at the size of that, guys. If you
after
are
going to
listening to it,
Warhammer World and seeing them, that like they're in a massive display case.
They are
They're
huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
So
But
Jack,
when we were there, I mean, sort of like me and Jack wandered off, and the temptation is real. Like,
Well, it's whenever it wasn't my turn when we were playing the game, and I was like, I'm just gonna have another wander. I'm just gonna go and leave and just see what I might find, and I end up coming back with one more thing every single time.
so then next, Jack, what legion are you going to be doing?
I'm going for the Bearers of the Word, the good old Word Bearers. I listened to about 2 of their books, and I was like, this is it. This is the legion I want. Lorgar is a bit of a bitch, but everyone else is cool.
Erebus is God.
Erebus is also
Yeah.
there. But everyone except those 2.
So pretty
You
much
got,
the legion and who leads the legion. But yeah, sure, no, it's fine.
Don't worry about that. No.
two key figures. In
No,
the-
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Kind
What
of
about the minions, right? Like, conveniently in a cave for no reason. It's like,
I solidified my choice up there when I picked up the Dawnbreaker cohort and the Crimson Paladins.
I think we didn't buy anything until we went. I think I bought Argyle Tower, and I think you bought the Sister of Silence, and then we went through the exhibition, saw all the stuff, and we were like, and you just went.
Because they were out, like they're out there.
And you're like, oh god damn it!
They look cool, and they're not as small as I thought. I thought they were going to be really undersized, but they're not. And then I saw the Crimson Paladins, and I was like, wow. And you can't take. I got what's her name? Genesia Kroll, the leader of the Sisters of Silence. Like, it's really cool. I was like, I can't take her back now. I can't be like, oh, sorry, I decided to go with Blood Angels, obviously, because it's the only choice. I don't know why I didn't in the first place. So I got that as well. All right, well.
And then
I just knew as soon as if you asked about if there was Sanguinius and she said yes, you would have like grabbed her by like the lapels and was just like, take me to him now. It's like, I need him right now.
So then I'm bringing it back. What legion are you doing?
We're on the right topic. We're talking about
Shut up, Steve. Blood Angels here.
I'm probably going to go Blood Angels or Space Wolves. It will probably be Blood Angels. My reason for maybe saying Space Wolves is I'm doing Space Wolves for 40k, and I like the Horus Heresy paint scheme. So I'm either going to paint my 40k Space Wolves like Horus Heresy, or I'm going to paint them in their blue colour, and then probably do Horus Heresy Space Wolves. Having said that, I really want to do a Blood Angels army because I would love to have a Sanguinius model on the table.
Good luck getting one.
I know they're impossible to get, but
it's the only game system you can get a Sanguinius on. So.
I could get a 3D printed one, you know, and for playing with friends doesn't matter.
it's not be the real Sanguinius.
All right, Ben. Sorry.
There can only be one.
No Sanguinius. I found a third party one. And I was like, oh, it does look pretty cool, but no, with some of the specialist Sanguinius, it's got to be the real thing.
Do you think when they actually launch the next edition of Horus Heresy, they might make an effort to restock all the Primarchs?
I think stock some of the stuff they're meant to sell for.
They've got a promo thing where it says like how to start on the Horus Heresy, like buy a Primarch, but all of them are out of stock.
Where am I supposed to fucking buy one?
The only when we were there, fuck you, Josh. When we were there, I think the only ones that were in like excess were like I think Lorgar. There were like 4 of them. I think there was about 3 or 4 of like, well, obviously not a Primarch, but like Nathaniel Garrow and stuff. But like, there were loads of just like empty shelves where like greatness could have been.
Ferrus Manus.
Ferrus Manus, there was like 7 of him.
It's generally ridiculous though, isn't it? If they don't restock them for the launch of the next edition, they're losing so much money because you know everyone's going to go, oh, we're already spending 200 quid on this box. Maybe I'll just dip my toe in and spend 100 quid on a Primarch as well. Otherwise, people go, I'm not going to bother.
They're basically the centerpiece of your army.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like with Heresy, you've got so many chapter-specific units. I know they're all Forge World, and they are
Legion specific.
All right.
Man, you got it wrong. They are the legions, not the chapters. Gilliman doesn't come out and Codex Astartes.
Big Book says no.
Yeah, Gilliman didn't spend years slaving over the Codex Astartes.
I think you'll find that you're wrong. I opened that to the word bearers page, by the way, accidentally.
So anyway,
That was purely
there's so much Legion-specific stuff and unique units, and there's never any of them there. Like I don't want to, don't want to be like a moany bitch, but I was surprised. Like when Jack, I think actually all 3 of us when we were looking at it, we just sort of like there's a lot of empty pegs for. Bearing in mind you're at the centre of it.
The shop.
I feel like I need to put in
place
here,
that
if
makes
people
it.
haven't picked up already, we did go to Warhammer World as well. I haven't even introduced that bit yet. So
No.
just in case people haven't
By the way.
It wasn't the Games Expo.
I'm going to go with the perfect market theory on this, right? Which is that basically, if you can think it will happen, it's already been priced in, right? So what's actually happened is a load of people have seen that a 3rd edition is coming, and they're just like, "Oh, going to buy up the Primarch then, because he's not going to get re-released," which is why none of them are in stock. I reckon. I mean,
It's
they're,
like
they're not in the
stickers.
best of stock anyway, but
you
not wanting to be
reckon-
too hipster about it, there wasn't particularly problems with the stock at like ordinary demand levels. So I bet that there's been like an influx of people going, oh yeah, go on then. Like
think
you
it's a
guys were
sales
like, oh, we'll
tactic,
pick
though?
them up.
I'll get Ferris Madness.
Josh, don't reason with me. I wanted to moan about it. I wasn't looking for solutions. I just wanted you to listen.
do you not think it might be a sales tactic though? Them going, oh, well, we've got them all. They're all here ready. And the minute we launch third edition, we're going to throw them all out, and they're all going to get swept straight up again. So I feel like that's the sort of thing they might do.
I think that's just the tactic the GW have generally with certain stuff. Like if they make it, unless your production run, I don't know, maybe it's just the way their production runs work that you know if something sells out much quicker than expected, there is just a wait list that is months long. But you find there are a lot. Like at the moment, we're trying to reorder the Ghost Kill for Tau, and it's out of stock. It's been out of stock for about a month now, and I'm like, you make it. You are the manufacturer.
Yeah. Where
So-
else am I supposed to get
there
it?
was the factory like behind where
Yes,
where
I assume
where
it's
it
all
was.
the
And when they're
same
going like, is it actually making things or is
Yeah.
it just making assault intercessors?
It's
It's just making it's
of our
just churning
listener
out Infernus Marines for the starter sets. Like,
I was hoping as 50% of our listener base, Jack, we could rely on you for some intel.
Cheers, mate.
And
I'll get
anyhow,
back to me on that.
if anyone cares, I'm going to do White Scars. All right. So anyhow, next bit.
Oh, sorry, Steve. We forgot you were
by the
here.
way,
To be fair, I didn't
Steve,
actually give the Legion I was going to do either. I just
Completely forgot you were here.
my
Oh, yeah.
Titan out.
I thought you were actually working the same time.
Okay.
Okay, Josh, what Legion are you doing properly?
I'm actually going to be
moving
doing.
on.
I think I'm going to be doing some Iron Warriors.
Nice.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Gotta love the weaponized autism. He's
Yeah.
It was in the I listened to Slaves to Darkness recently, and you know, like the muster at Ullanor, where they've got like the celebration of Horus becoming the War Master. The like Mechanicum took like 3 or 4 months to get everything set up. Perta Robin managed to get everything organized in less than 14 days, and it's like Jesus Christ, like that is some serious like presentation and like Excel skills right there.
Where they flatten an entire landscape
Yeah,
so they
pretty
can
much.
have all the legions in formation.
And it's
But-
like,
but-
cool, this is it. Where's the
but-
photos of this then? Where's the
but when-
artwork?
when you listen to the actual extract of when everything happens, like I'm not being funny. To me, it just seems like the Emperor turns up for 10 minutes, like and goes like, just gonna let you know, guys. Hello, did well. Horus is your new boy. Off I go. Like months
He
of
shows up
planning.
like he's presenting a game at like EA I can't remember what the event is called. But
EA
like,
Play.
EA Play. He shows up and he's just like, "Hi, here's the demo. Bye." It's like, no, there's more. Come back. And he's like, "No. Ask Horus. See you later."
Just give an update.
The Emperor is cold and distant.
Yes.
So,
Except if he's written by Gav Thorpe, but that's another topic.
so anyhow, that's all the stuff and new stuff.
Sorry, Steve, you're going White Scars.
Oh,
Why
yeah,
are you going White Scars?
Steve, what are you going? Cool. Next.
I'm going White Scars. That's it. Spikes and stuff. That's cool, and we'll get into that in a second.
Zoomy.
So that's that. So anyhow, going forward on everything. The only other news is the new Chaos Knights. They've looks like it's coming up for the pre-order. Looks pretty cool. The model looks pretty cool. Obviously, it's limited. There are some other interesting bits and pieces on pre-order. I can't remember them all though. There was some new Blood Bowl.
They've released some photos of like the whatever the first word is, Deepkin. Ideneth Deepkin.
Ideneth Deepkin, yeah.
I think they've released some sort of like
Some
newer
spells as well. I think they're releasing.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously there was the Space Wolves pre-order as well, which just went
Oh yeah,
everywhere. Like in an hour or so, it was gone everywhere.
No, that's it. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much all the news in Warhammer. So going forward into a couple of things that were going on. So not even the weekend past, before the weekend, myself, Ben, and Jack, we went up to Warhammer World, and we also went up to the Games Expo. We went up to Warhammer World firstly and foremost to be with the International Guild of Hobbyists, get the entire army together. For those who don't know, we have built 10,000 points of Space Marine Army that you can win in a raffle. The link will be in the description below. So for £4 a ticket, ticket, you'll be in a chance for winning one of the 4 detachments there. I think one of them's up to 4,000 points. There's 3 2,000-point detachments. One of them, which was sponsored by the Jedi Archives and Ben, and that is the Stormlance detachment, which I have with me, which is going to the Bristol Grand Tournament with me. So I'll be taking it, getting all the bad dice rolls out the way for you guys, so there'll be a nice, clean, get rid of all the rubbish whilst
Break
I
them in
lose
model
badly with them.
syndrome.
So, but yeah, we went up there, played the game with Dave from the International Guild of Hobbyists, who's the brainchild behind the entire event, where we've been, we've had models from Mexico, USA, Germany. I think a whole detachment came from Germany. So it's a great thing, and lots of we're raising money for 3 different charities. There's a German charity is Mind, and there's also another I need to remember. They'll all be in the description below. QR codes, lots of stuff, and really worth it, guys. For £4 you could win a 2,000-point army, all painted, ready to go, or even a 4,000 point. You should see the Rabute Gilliman that's been painted up. It's absolutely amazing.
That's outrageous.
The guy,
I looked at mine that I brought and I was like, okay, I'll put mine back in the box.
Yeah, I mean,
Who was it who painted that?
I don't know. I'm doing so bad. Don't worry. Over this week, I'm going to learn everything about everything that's going on, because the next topic after we get onto this is about getting ready for this tournament, and that's where my head has been at the moment. But getting back into it, so we went up there, played with Dave, Warhammer World, and also a chance to win some models there for you guys. Then we had a bit of fun up there, guys, didn't we? What else did we get up to when we were up there? What else did we do?
It was a long day. It was a very long day.
I mean, bear in mind, we drove up there. We got there. I went to play a game. You guys went around the exhibition. You went around the shop. I mean, it was funny. Every time you came back, you had a new purchase. Like, you're like, oh, Steve, can I put this in your bag? Steve, can I put this in your bag? Like, literally, you leave for an hour and come back. It's like, oh, could you put this in? And before I know it, I think Ben spent about 200 quid, like, in the shop.
I think it was about 230 quid on, 3 things.
And then we popped back out into Nottingham. We went to the Space Marine VR, didn't we? Had some fun over there in the VR.
That was great.
It was such a spur of the moment thing where it was just like, oh, this is in Nottingham. Should I do it? Like, yeah. All right, guess we're doing that then.
I think it's good fun. It is. Although I got cramped.
It was honestly great.
For £30 for 30 minutes or whatever it is, I think that's pretty good. That felt like good value.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. It was good fun. And then we went back and played another game at Warhammer World. And then the following day was the UK Games Expo. So,
hold on, let's talk about the game we played.
We'll talk about the game we played, Ben.
The little, what was it Dave's idea? It was basically King of the Hill, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But except we just kept on shooting each other.
Yeah. No, I got into the hill.
Me and Steve, and then someone did King of the Hill.
Yeah.
I think Steve's heavy. Hellblasters were just in the middle of the board, and that was it.
Yeah. So basically, we had one of the special tables that I had up there. It's this 12. It's a 6. Is it 12 by 12? Is it? No.
Very big.
6 by 6.
Yeah, 6 by 6. We made it a bit smaller, and we had the objective was we had to get into the middle, hold the objective in the middle, and just coming in from 4 quarters, attacking each other. And it was good fun. To be fair, it's just a bit of fun, not following the normal strict mission rules, secondary objectives, or anything like this, and just good old fun playing and just having fun with it, So yeah, it was good. We were all the way there till about 10 o'clock, weren't we? And yeah,
that one bottle of cider went straight to my head when I was playing.
And then we went straight to bed, and
nothing else.
The wrong way round a roundabout.
The wrong way round a roundabout and reversing down a one-way road. We won't talk about that. And then
my main concern wasn't the fact that I was in the back seat. It was the fact that in the boot there were so many models. I wasn't on the fact that my life was at risk in that moment in time. I was like, oh god, the charity army.
Not the fourth world.
I was like, oh god, the Crimson Cohort. I was like, that's expensive. I'm expensive.
And then the following day, we went up to the Games Expo. I think, honestly speaking, what was your thinking about going to the Games Expo? Were you expecting much? What was your feel about it, guys, going up there?
I honestly had no, it's never something I've looked into or or tried to find out information on, because it was something I would just be like, oh, it's a thing that just sort of goes on in people's hobbies and people's lives, so they just go to this and it's cool. Famous people go and people I watch on YouTube go there, and it's like, oh cool, that'd be really nice to go there. And then when I was there, I was just like, oh well, wander around. And then when we were talking to was it Grim that we were talking to, and I just sort of turned to my right, and I was like, I recognise that that model, and I was like, that's the Vulcan like Fulgrim that Pete the Wargamer did, and I was like, holy shit, it's Pete the Wargamer. I was like, holy shit, what the hell? And like, there was just so much stuff that I just didn't expect to be there. There was a as I was wandering around when you two left me, I was like, I lost my 2 adopted dads, and I was wandering around like, I was like, Dad! I was lost, and I was sort of, as I was walking around, there was loads of like board game like Kickstarter stuff, and there was one for this like movie that I really want to watch, and it was like, I was like, didn't expect there to be a board game, didn't know there was a board game, and it's like, and then obviously when we were looking through the program, as they say, we were like scrolling through, and then it was the Magnus Archives thing. But I'll save that for when
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
We will get on that. We get on to
I was just like looking through the thing, and I was like, hold on a second. I was like, took a photo, sent to my fiancée, and she was just like, go there, find out everything. And I was like, yep, I will, don't worry.
So no, that was, I mean, that is definitely the highlight of it. But again, like Ben, what did you think about it? Like you're going up to
I think, I mean, my thing was, obviously we were invited to go to one of the seminars, and so it was, I don't know, my expectations were fairly low, and I think I didn't spend a huge amount of time looking at what was going to be on. And I think with a lot of these things, if you just go and throw yourselves into a bit of stuff, there's fun to be had when you're not necessarily expecting it. Like the Magnus Archives bit was a definite highlight. But for me, it's kind of an opportunity to go up and meet some of the people that you deal with via email that you don't normally get a chance to speak to or see in person. But yeah, a ton of stuff. And I think, I mean, I don't get, because we've got the business and the shops. You go from a trade perspective, and sometimes a lot of the trade stuff isn't quite as exciting. I think going as a consumer is much more interesting. And then just checking out stuff. I mean, look, I've played Unlimited countless times, but me and you playing a demo of Unlimited, that was really cool. Because you're in like a place with a ton of stuff going on. All the big scenery stuff around you.
It's like playing the games of Warhammer, like say playing Warhammer down the shop and then playing Warhammer at Warhammer World. It was just like you're at Warhammer World. Like it might have been just if you played a normal say, like I think Steve, you and Dave play like a proper 2000 mission focused game and stuff, but it's like you're still playing it at Warhammer World, which is like.
It is. I mean, the thing is, like, getting back to the Expo, the Games Expo, because I do want to touch on the Magnus Archives. It was again one of those things. Not massive expectations. And bear in mind, we follow Warhammer, and there's no Warhammer there. There's all the other game systems and all the other stuff that's there. However, getting around there and you're looking at the things, and actually you see there's a whole load of influences out there, and it was great to meet the Feral Paint. Like to me, just meeting the Feral Painter was great. And there's a couple of other guys that I got to meet up with there just on the off chance, just by recognizing people, which was lovely and it was great. And then it's suddenly realizing actually how big the tabletop gaming industry is in so many different ways. And Jack, we lost Jack, and as a lost child, we ended up called Jack.
I called you twice.
Yeah, we called Jack.
Like, I'll find you. And I stood waiting for half an hour, and I was like, they're not coming. I'll just walk around by myself.
But it was that thing where we just kind of went round. We did the business stuff. We met some of the reps that Ben knows and some of the people that we wanted to meet as we went up there. We're like, oh, that's great, that's nice. We did some bits and pieces, but nothing too fancy. We kind of sped around the place because we're like, look, we're up here, and being Warhammer, we wanted to go back to Warhammer World and play a game. I actually booked a table, and then when we went and met Jack, it was at the Magnus Archive, and we had this guy going like, so you guys want to do a demo of this game, and we're like, I don't know, what's it,
You completely threw me off guard. This like 6'5" Scott comes up to me, and he's just like, "Hey, I'll play a game." He's like, "Oh yeah." Your son Jack said about doing a demo of the archives, and I was like, "The archives?" I was like, "Well, that's mine."
The woman that I was with, I was like, I called Jordan, bought all the stuff and everything, and then I was like, she was like, "Do you want to do a demo of it?" And I was like, "Oh, I kind of want to know what it's like before jumping in," sort of thing. So when you watch like trailers for a game of something, you can see how the gameplay works, and then you'll buy the game, sort of thing. I was like, I kind of wanted to see that. And then it was like, there's a session at 1:30, and I was like, oh, that's like 2.5 hours from now, and I was like, ugh, I can't really. And then I was like, I'll call my dad's. It's just like, okay. And I was like, they're not actually my dad's. I was like, and then she was like, oh, I understand. And then like when you two showed up, I was like, oh, it's my dad's. Like looking to her, making the joke, but obviously that guy overheard and then just beelined it towards you and was just like, you're his dad's, right? As I saw your faces, I was like, I probably should have.
I don't know whether we're just on like this like super high level of humor, and I'm like, this guy is hilarious.
Oh, he was so
It was the most bizarre interaction. He was like, when do you want to do a demo? I'm like, are you coming down for it? Like, what, are you coming to us? Are we coming to you? Like, well, where are you based? And he's like, here. I'm like, wait, I gathered that, yeah.
Right here, mate. What do you think?
We're not here.
And he was just like, when you free? And I was like, we got somewhere to go in a bit. Now? And he was like, give me 10, yeah. And I was a bit kind of like, I really just want to go and get back to Warhammer World and
we want to go and eat a big plate of meat.
I was really when we were sat down for the first like sort of 10-15 minutes when he was sort of building the story, explaining how the lore of, like the Magnus Archives like works and everything, and like how that story's been going on. You kind of just sort of like yeah kind of thing, and I was like, oh god, they're gonna hate me. I was like, they're gonna be like, yep, cool, this is fun, we'll see you later, kind of thing. And I was like, oh god, it's gonna be so bad. And then at one point, it was sort of in the like story, Ben just kind of leant forward, and I was just like, we're in, it's okay, we're fine. So it's okay.
So for those who don't know,
so wait, this is about problem solving. I'm like, problem solving, you say?
so for those who don't know, a little bit of plug on the Magnus Archives, and bear in mind this is very limited knowledge here, and I'm going to try and make it as short as possible. So the Magnus Archives is a podcast that's been going for a long time, which as far as I believe is basically a department or a group of people down in London who are transcribing onto audio or onto tapes about a load of incidents that have happened. And the podcast is literally that, just telling these stories. This guy is talking into a tape cassette saying case number, whatever, and tells this entire story, which a witness or someone would have said something about or seen that's really strange and stuff. And they're all interesting stories, and they are really interesting stories. I've listened to a couple now, and they are really interesting. But it expands after like the 10th episode, like things start linking back to some of the first episodes and so on and so forth, and it gets bigger and bigger. I haven't got there yet. So anyhow, this is what was described to us as it is, and the role-playing game that
it's almost like a Victorian horror in modern times.
Yeah.
Like,
from reading some of the like, because this like book that we got at the Expo, it like half of it's like rules and then half of it's like lore from the actual like podcast and stuff. Like there were bits in it which I've saved for this part because at the end of our session we saved Gregor. He's the actual original bad guy.
Oh
yeah, we saved the person who is like an alias for like the Wooga Booger that was behind the like pulling the strings the whole time, and it's like, oh god, we've doomed ourselves.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it because we'll
tricked us. He tricked us.
Yep,
He did taking Gregor with you. I didn't want him. I was going to kill him. I was happy to kill him.
Like, I gently knocked him out.
Anyhow.
I kind of want to kill him.
I'll bring it back.
Are you sure?
Fucking, you guys are so tangent led. Like,
I knew there was something I didn't like about that guy.
All right. So anyhow, bring that back. So yeah. So this is it, and they've created this game. And to be fair, we sat down and as the game started. It was interesting, but obviously thinking that we needed to shoot on, wanted to get to Warhammer World. But as we started getting into the game and the way the game plays, it's so easy and so simple and so intuitive. It was so easy to get into the game and actually go into it. I don't know if they're ever going to listen to this, but the Magnus Archives, whoever was our GM, I can't remember the guy's name. The guy was absolutely wonderful. Storytelling was brilliant. It was on point.
Was that Brian?
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 Hello, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
But the whole game's based on the Cypher RPG system, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just... But it was so easy to play, and before you know it, 2.5 hours had gone. and I had so much fun playing that game, and it was unreal. And it's literally something that we didn't stop talking about coming all the way back. The point I want to come around and bring onto all of this is like, it's about opening your eyes to the other game systems that are out there. Like as a Warhammer tabletop gamer, like, I'm dabbling in 40k RPG, and it is interesting, but it is lengthy. There's a lot in it. Whereas this was, I just love the concept. You are all it is you're a bunch of investigators we were sent from London up to Scotland to investigate something. And the way he described this is you're the kind of people that forget to change the coffee filter. Like, you're the kind of people who forgot to feed the cat. Like, there was nothing special about
special.
you.
You're not important.
You are just a base human. You are, but yeah, it was a really good system. And
Thanks,
the thing is, but off the back of all of this, it's basically kind of made me think, like, more about all the other game systems and stuff. It's like, if there's any listeners here, if there's other game systems or other things that you think are really interesting, like, I really like to know, because I want to go back to the Games Expo next year, but I want to spend a couple of days up there. I actually really want to delve into all of the things that are up there. Don't get me wrong, there, like, you do have the big shops up there, and there's lots of people just selling board games and stuff. And there is those elements, which, to be honest, I'm a bit like, meh. But there's just smaller little ones, the ones that are off
the indie stuff, the independent stuff is so cool.
But there were so many. Yes, boss.
Oh no, sorry. Let you say. No. I'll let you finish first. I'll let you finish first.
Very polite.
Yeah, for once. But yeah, no.
All right, Steve.
No, but it is interesting, and it's just kind of opened. I think it's opened our eyes up to all the other bits and pieces that are up there. And there's a lot of people up there. I think
I've not stopped having ideas at work. I'll be like, oh, this is a really good idea. This could be a really fun one we could do.
Yeah, but it opens up the scope, as opposed to just rolling dice on the table, following some mission cards, following some secondary missions. And again, I feel like, at the end of our trip when we were up there, like what we did when we went back to Warhammer World as well, like, it was a bit more fun that we did. But anyhow, Seb, question, go ahead. Did
you guys get a chance to check out Trench Crusade at all?
Yeah. I only saw that it was there after I got back. I was like,
It's one of those games. I think it looked. I mean, I haven't got a clue how the game system works, but the models just look fantastic, and I completely missed the Kickstarter. And then I found out it existed just as it finished, and I was like, the models look fantastic. Here we go.
Josh, what's in the box?
Of course.
So,
did you get the full Kickstarter, or did you just get like one gang or whatever they're called?
I got the new Antioch Warband and Reinforcements, I think it was called. So there was 2 parts. Funnily enough, I'm going to be playing some Trench Crusade on Wednesday evening. So that'll be what I'll be playing in the archives on Wednesday.
Yeah, let me know what you think.
I've shambled down with my 3 games.
It really interests me. It really interests me as a game, and I'm kind of like, I'll play it before I drop a load of money on it for a change. But it does look fantastic, and I just think the model design looks absolutely incredible.
I feel
very unique.
I feel
so. Faction the look of. Have you sort of mentally laid claim to one, or have you not looked?
Not at all, mate. I've kind of seen all the models at once and gone, wow, these look fantastic, and that's where my knowledge is.
I feel, Seb, if you went up to the UK Games Expo, you would be broke, or like you would have 20 different game systems you'd want to start playing.
I'll come next year with lots of pocket money.
Lots of pocket.
Same.
Myself and Ben, being the adopted fathers, we'll keep hold of your money. Like, you'll have to
Here's
go round
50p.
We'll go round.
We'll go round all on sweets.
We'll go round the first day, and then you can sleep on it when we go back the next day.
I would love to go up there for like all 3 days and just spend the time just like playing as much as possible.
No, I definitely feel that we didn't do it the service that we should have done. There's a lot of other creators who've done a lot of content on it and everything like this, but the places that it's those indie creators, those other bits and pieces that are up there, those ones with the interesting game. Like, I picked up a 2-player role playing game. I've started going through it with my daughter. It's a GM and another player, and it's aimed at couples or whoever's got a quick couple of hours to play. And it's something that I want to do with my daughter. And it's like, I wouldn't have seen that, would never have picked it up. It's not something in my Google search. It's not but it's not in my Google.
That was the new one. No. That was
But
the new one that they had at the store, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it's
with,
again
with Jonathan was there.
with the same writer from the Magnus Archive, so like from link to link, like, and they were in completely different halls and stuff like this. So yeah, it's definitely something to do. Obviously, if anyone else went to Games Expo, I mean, the other thing that we got from that was a reel that I just did for shits and gigs, like, you know, and we done really well. So some people might recognize our faces now, like, you know. So
my manager came up to me and was like, "I'm scrolling through TikTok," and then I was just like, "I recognize this person." And then like, someone else was just like, "Yeah, I saw you," and I was like, "Why do I recognize this person? Like, why are you on my For You page?" And I was like, "Yes."
So, but yeah, so that's that. So that's it. And we went back to Warhammer World, and I feel managed to live a little bit of a childhood dream as well, going back to Warhammer World again, being able to play on a really massively terrain heavy board, but again, playing like we used to play years ago for fun. Again, not playing for any objective markers or anything like this. We just set up, I think it was 10 tokens. You had to collect them and get up to a helipad to offload them. And the one with the most tokens at the end won. But the way it was played, it was a really fun game. And we just,
Super simple, like 3v3,
yeah,
a couple hundred points of minis. What did we do? We doubled the wounds to make the units a bit like
tougher.
last a bit longer.
Heavy intercessors.
And then if your all your units were wiped as a roll of a d6 and then a whatever how many units you could, and then it was like a d6 and a d12, and we could pick how many units of a squad you could bring back. So my units all got wiped, and I ended up bringing 4 Terminators back on the board, like, you know, and I still got wiped. But
and
it was
like, oh god.
But it was
you brought the sanguinary gun. I was like, oh, it's all over.
Yeah, but that was it. But it was good fun. It was just playing Warhammer for the sake of playing Warhammer, which is good fun, and I really enjoyed all of that. However, segueing from that, going from playing Warhammer for good fun, we're about to be going into this Bristol Grand Tournament, and it's a different style of gaming, and it's a different style of prep, and it's a different style of everything. And I'll be honest, my head is fried, and I'm tired from writing lists, reading lists, watching YouTubes, trying to figure out the best way of playing. Like, I mean, guys, how I mean, I'm very fortunate. I'm taking the International Guild of Hobbyist Army. It's a Space Marine army. It's a Stormlance. The list was half written. It was written. I've changed it to make it work for me. Well, I say work for me. God knows how it's going to be. But how has the prep been going for you guys? How are you feeling getting ready for this tournament coming up?
I'm currently, trying to get through some last minute bits now because I've decided I'd all my stuff ready for months in advance. I was like, well, I don't really need to paint anything. And then I thought, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change the list last minute.
I actually came up with a couple of questions that I sort of wanted to ask each of you about the tournament. If I don't know if it'll be particularly interesting content.
Do by all means, because my literal thing, the literal thing I have is my brain is fried. I'm anxious. I know we're going up on the Friday. We're going to be staying there for a couple of nights, and we're coming back on the Monday because I wanted to make something of it. There's about 8 or 9 of us from my hobby club, the online hobby club, and I think there's 5 of us from the Jedi Archives going up. Like, so there's a mix of people, and I'm going up to have an event and have some fun. The tournament isn't the primary thing up there. It is what we're going for. But then. But I'm going. Yeah, see me fucking Bilbo Baggins running. I'm on an adventure. but it's that, like, So I wanted to make it to be something to have fun to and hang out with a group of friends. But I won't lie.
You don't have any friends.
I paid for these friends.
I give you a monthly subscription. You're meant to be my friend.
Patreon.
Rent a friend.
So I pretty much all my topic right now is I'm exhausted and anxious. So,
I fucking hate this hobby.
I really hate every second of this hobby, but I'm doing it because.
But it's that it does baffle my head so much, because when I went to the Blood Bowl tournament, my first one I was really nervous about, and then I've come dead last in tournaments and stuff, and I've had a whale of a time because it doesn't matter. It's the people that you go with, and that's the one thing that I wanted for this. I wanted there to be that element going up there to spend time with people as opposed to just going to play the game. However, this is the most wired I've been before a tournament. And I know I'm not going to win anything. I ain't fighting for the top place here, like, you know, and I don't care if I lose, but there's so many other things I worry about. So anyhow, sorry, Josh, go, please ask as many questions as you want.
I have a question as well, so I'll let Josh go.
I thought you were going to be like, yeah, shut up, Josh. My question first.
I have
no,
questions.
No. Let Josh, take it away, man.
Okay, so what I was going to do is just ask you kind of, there's a set of questions, and I was just going to ask you them one after another, really, just to get what each of your individual thoughts were. For some of them, I think for Steve, it's probably fairly obvious, and people who know Ben, it'll be very obvious, although I'm not sure if we've overtly stated it on the podcast. So if we start with Ben, which faction are you going to be using in the tournament, Ben?
Guard.
Got it. That's just as we expected.
For anyone listening, Josh just fell off his chair.
No, so I'm going, I'm taking the Blood Angels. The only faction really worth taking anywhere. Out for dinner, out for a tournament.
We need that on a shirt, by the way.
I'm taking my Blood Angels out for dinner on a shirt.
No. The only faction worth knowing.
Sort of a teardrop next to it.
Yeah. Blood Angels.
Question.
I'm looking forward to it. I feel
Shut
like
up, Ben, shut up. He's got the questions.
Ben.
The follow-up question was, what about it are you most looking forward to, and what are you most apprehensive about as far as the tournament's concerned?
Can I
You can answer now. You can answer now, Ben.
Right. Josh has put his hand down, so now you can answer.
Yeah. I have the talking stick.
What am I most looking forward to? The tournament, if I'm brutally honest, none of it.
Good start.
We're already selling play to people as part of this.
No, look, it'll be fun to use them in a competitive environment. I didn't choose Blood Angels because I feel like they're a competitive one, but I think if you can, as with anything, if the dice goes your way, it can be quite good. So it'll be interesting to see how they do competitively. I'm not expecting to win anything. I just want to see some golden boys fuck stuff up. All right, if I can fuck up a few units with some golden boys after a deep strike, I'm all good. It'll be fun to see what it's like. See if there's any. I don't know. We've all got similar preconceptions, I think, about the tournament scene, and it would be interesting to see if any of them are true. What am I most apprehensive about? Probably the main thing is whether I can be fucked to go back for day two. And because it's we play for fun, and we play so the game we played, both games we played, the game with me and Jack, where we had 1,000 points against each other, we spent most of it just giggling about stuff. And then we played the 4-way we had was much the same. It was just silly stuff. And then the one after that was even sillier. And the whole time we're just laughing about how ridiculous stuff is, getting excited over impossible dice rolls that come through because it's just friendly and there's no no one gives a shit about the end result.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we also tend to play very little in we'll only play in short bursts. So we'll do 3 hours one day, 4 hours maybe another day. This is going to be 5 big games in a really sort of short space of time. Let's talk about the stuff you've got to bring with you as a chess timer. Really?
I've done my movement phase. Next.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing I'm apprehensive about is just going. I don't mind because I think again the big thing for me is it's going to be a fun weekend. It's going to be the social stuff. That's what I'm looking forward to. The tournament is kind of like a byproduct of that for me, where I'll kind of see how it goes, and if I also enjoy it, great. That's like a happy benefit. But yeah, 5 games in 2 days at bam, 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 bam. It's probably where I'm that's not really my style. So
Your style, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. So the next one was, is there a specific faction that you really don't want to be pitted against?
Blood Angels, probably.
You just don't want that mirror match.
Yeah. Too bad Fred.
And okay, then the last bit was, which model from your current list are you most proud of, and which one did you struggle with the most? Out of the ones you've kind of currently...
The same answer.
I think both having the same answer is perfectly legitimate, to be fair.
Struggle with in terms of what, painting it, or in terms of using it on the table?
I'm happy to hear either. I was envisaging in terms of like painting it, in terms of like the kind of creativity behind it, but struggle with it in any other way you envisage, I suppose.
It's just the Bowl Predator, because I can't find out where to put the fucking melter.
We'll find out afterwards.
I mean, like you guys
slap it on the side, just like side it. Just
It's not tournament valid. It's not the Codex Astartes.
just have a Blood Angel leaning out the side, just like melt a gun.
I said to Steve earlier, I'm just going to paint like Melter was here on the side.
Orc style. But was WOZ.
I mean, like, my painting style isn't about like award-winning stuff. It's about making it look as good as I can within as much time as I feel like I want to give it. The ones I do really like the Dante model. I didn't at first, but since like painting and building them, have actually really enjoyed it. The Sanguinary Guard, I'm just doing some of the black on this one now, but
I feel like the amount of pain that Dante's capable of dishing out probably makes you like him even more than the model itself.
Because like my man just does not die.
Oh yeah, he's both an input and an output beast. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say I've found them like any of them. I don't think I found any of them particularly challenging. But I'm not taking anything. Like, there's nothing I'm taking that. Like Jack, all of your stuff is outrageous. Like
we'll get to me in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But I haven't got like a. Dante is the leader, and he's mostly gold, and I find gold quite easy to paint. So he's been quite all right. If I was running like Sanguinius, or if I was running a Demon Prince like that, if I was running like a really big centerpiece that I'd spent time on, it would be like one of those things. But these are all like relatively basic units that I kind of blitzed through quite quickly. I mean, I've painted these guys I started that yesterday. I've done a squad of 5, and I've just fucking dry brushed my way through it and contrast painted it, and they look fine. They're pretty good. So I think the Sanguinary Guard have been an interesting one. So it's a really long-winded answer to your question. In terms of like on the table, I
expect no less of you at this point, Ben.
In terms of like using stuff, a lot of this stuff actually has been like using it for the first time. The Sanguinary Guard I've only picked. They've not been out long, but I've only really used them in the last few months. The Baal Predator is a new addition. Working out how I want to use my Assault Intercessors, so like chucking in the Land Raider, which is why the list has changed, because I was like, actually, this is a much better way to move around. So it's all quite new. So I've got a rough idea of how I want to do stuff, but it's by no means, this isn't a list that I've been using for, like 6 months, 12 months. It's all pretty new. So I'm just going to fucking wing it, and we'll see what happens. And again, I'm going in with no expectations. I don't expect to win. And at the end of the day, it's just a game of plastic soldiers on the table. So I don't really care about them. I'm sure there probably will be times I do care, because I think when you're playing the game, there are times when you're like, I really don't want to get my arse handed to me quite that bad. But aside from that, it's just a bit of a laugh, and we'll see what happens. And hopefully the Sanguinary Guard don't die straight away.
So, Steve, Jack, you've got 8 seconds to give your answer now that Ben wants. So both of you at the same time, all questions simultaneously, go.
Children. I just did it because I got the FOMO box, and then I was at the Combat Patrol, and then I got a Mauler Fiend, and I already had a Land Raider, and then I got Fulgrim and Lucius, and I was like, there you go, that's it. That's my army. I said not having too much of a... I'm pretty much the same as Ben, just going in, winging it, sort of being like, screw it. I know roughly how most things work in 40k, so I can know roughly the sort of gotcha moments. Not looking forward to coming against knights, because I have quite a lot of infantry and 3 anti-tank things, and if they go, then goodbye, have fun. Model I've most enjoyed painting and also hated painting, and the best one I've done was my painful to look at Fulgrim, which
that's impressive though.
With his leopard print wings, but that was
very nice.
Yeah, that was my piece de resistance, and then the rest of it is still being painted. I have 4 days to do 4 paints, which doesn't sound like a lot if I wasn't doing them over like 40 models. Which
4 days to do
If
40
each
models
armor
sounds a
panel
bit more
wasn't a
dire.
different
Yeah.
colour.
which as you can see, it's all still just
Yes.
a lot of white left remaining as a. But yeah, apart from that, it's all them just winging it. I know the social side, like Ben said, is going to be fun, like seeing all the people, and like as Steve said, like seeing people that we've like been like texting and stuff, and then we're meeting up with them, and then just gonna chill and decide what takeaway we're gonna have, and like how much money I'm gonna have to like fork out to be like, oh, I want 7 pizzas, please, and like all this other kind of sort of stuff. But yeah, that's it, pretty much. Steve,
7 pizzas. Do you reckon you could do 7?
we'll
Yeah.
have to find out.
You mean you
I
can't?
always feel bad, Steve. Whenever there's any questions, you always end up drawing the short straw and going last, and then you lag out whilst we're asking you it as well.
Well, you see,
So anyhow, I'll be quick. Obviously, I've got the Iron Halos, which is International Guild of Hobbyist Army. It's the Space Marine Army. It's also the Stormlance detachment, and I've actually got 14 bikes in it. So it's not a list I would have picked. Not as basically I go all cool, and it's definitely not the way I would have went. Like I was originally going to be taking the Chaos Space Marine Army, but life and everything else gets in the way. So
it's not usable, but it looks cool.
I've got opponents I'm worried about going up against. I actually haven't played enough 40k to actually know what to worry about.
I'm scared of Ben, just not as an opponent, just in general.
I literally don't know what to expect. I'm literally going into this tournament blind. I've had about 10 games of 40k in like proper games of 40k. I've between Tabletop Simulator and all sorts and playing in the store. I think I played my proper 2,000 point game last week with all the rules and cards and everything else with it, learning all the way. The biggest thing is going into these tournaments, I always want to learn something at the end of the day. I want to learn, I learn by mistakes. I think a lot of us do. Well, either you learn by book or you learn by mistake, isn't it? And I learn a lot by mistakes. It's the only way I anyway get good at it. Anything is just by experiencing it. So I'm looking forward to getting out there and playing some games. Obviously apprehensive from what you hear. What the 40k tournament scene is like, but there's 400 and something odd players going to this thing. I don't think every single one of them is going to be a neckbeard. I mean, I'm just playing it well, if us 8 or 9 of us who are going down to play aren't neckbeards, I mean, there's a chance there's going to be other people like us. So
there's at least not 8 or 9 of us.
But the thing is like it goes Swiss style tournament. So what happens is the first game you don't know who you're going to get pitted against. You might end up against a person who's going to be winning the tournament. You don't know what that first game's going to be like.
We'll end up on all specs tactics. And they beat this idiot.
Yeah.
This is how we begin beginners.
but yeah, that guy who beat his Emperor's children, that was me.
But it's that your first game, you don't know who you're going to get against, and then as it is when you lose, because we're all going to lose probably. Could you imagine we win our first game? I did that at the Blood Bowl tournament. I won my first game. I was top tables in the second. I was just
my god!
I was like, what am I doing up here? Why am I here?
Happening?
I was like, this is table number 5. I shouldn't be here.
I should be in set 10 maths, not set 1. Why am I doing up here?
But it's that
relatable experience as me. Yeah.
Then as the day go along, it's going to be hopefully playing against like-minded, similar kind of people. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I was really worried when I went to my first Blood Bowl tournament. This is my first 40k tournament. I don't know. Just a quick shout out for the models and stuff. So the models I'm taking, there's a lot of that we've had commissions done. We had commissions done. So a big shout out to Master Makes Models, who's done the Storm Raven. Absolutely fantastic job on that. A wonderful job that he's done there. The Feral Painter, who's done Dreadnought for me. He's done an absolutely amazing job. And also About 3 Ducks, who's painted 2 squads of 5 intercessors for me as well. They're absolutely wonderful. Finally, shout out to Jedi Archives and everyone down in the shop and those guys listening, who painted the rest of the models and also sponsored the models. So, this is not an army that I bought or painted. I'm finishing it off and basing it up and doing last touches and stuff. But yeah, no, it's good. Look, I'm going out there to experience what it is. And like I said before, and we've all said after that, is we're just going to have fun. We're going to try and have as much fun as possible. And at the end of the day, situations are what you make of them at the end of the day. Like you either have a good time of it and make the most of a situation, or it's going to be a bad time. Look, we could do the first day and actually go, it's not too bad. Or we could do the first day and go, you know what, this is a fucking shitstorm. And I'm going
Warhammer world.
But we don't know. We don't know what we're going to do and how it's going to pan out. So we're just going to get stuck in and have some fun with it. But yeah, I think, But on the flip of that,
I have a question as well.
I have a question.
No, to be fair, one of you could answer it, or all of you could answer it. So when you get to Sunday, and whether you have played all your games or you've just played a few, do you think that your overall opinion on the hobby and the tournament scene will have changed at all, and why? Or do you hand on heart, deep down, think your opinions that you're thinking now will stay the same by Sunday, if not be worse?
Take the UK, the Games Expo we've just been to. Went in with low expectations and had a great time. So I don't know. I'm not going to decide now whether it's going to be
That's
good.
fair.
I think it's literally going to be experience led. What's also going to be interesting, there's 8 of us there, or 8 or 9 of us. It literally depends. One person's on the fence if they're coming or not. But there's those who are going to come. Everyone's going to have a different experience. So what's going to be interesting is also seeing what other people's experiences are like. I've played against a neckbeard in Blood Bowl. I got tabled hard. It was awful to the point that I was really upset. I was literally like, just stop killing my people.
Stop it, it's already dead.
I was just like, you've got the points. Why are you doing this? This is evil. However,
stop it.
But from the tabling that I had and the absolute drumming, I've learned some things. I've taken some of the things I spent, instead of spending the time crying like a little bitch about it, to be honest, I was there like, okay, what is he doing? How is this working? Why does this work? He killed a tree man with a bloody ball. It's like, these are things that shouldn't happen. But he knew the game enough to do it. So I'll learn stuff. I'll be absolutely honest, at the present moment, do I think I'm going to enter a 40k competitive tournament again at this stage? Long and short, with the way this lead up is going into this one, my chest is getting tight now thinking about it. No, I ain't fucking doing this again. And I haven't even been there.
In the tum-tum.
But it's just it's a lot of gaming. There's like what, 4.
I don't know whether we want to go into the detail of it, but I thought the email interaction was pretty poor.
I mean,
I think maybe
fuck it. No. You know what? I will go into it because it has added to it, and it has already dampened the experience without me even going. So there's a tournament pack, there's a mission pack, and everything gets issued, and it is quite organised. UKTC have done quite an acceptable job of organising all the bits and pieces. However, there was one bit where I was asking a question. Now, for you those who know Warhammer and Warhammer 40k in particular, you got a mission decks, yeah? And let's be honest, those things are impossible to find, like rocking all shit. Like Jack's got one, the rest of us haven't. So even Ben sells them, and we haven't got them, So, however, the missions are set, the layouts are set, and it does say in there, a 2,000 point army using the chapter approved mission, and then it has a list section saying what you need to bring, and everything in there, 2,000 point fully painted army, dice, tape measure, all of this stuff. It goes through a whole list of it, right down to saying a chest clock. It says all the codices and FAQs and everything relating to your army. So it is an in-depth list, but it doesn't say you need a mission deck, So I emailed them and said, look, we come from a community, we share a couple of mission decks between us, a couple of questions. Firstly, do we need it? Because it doesn't state that we need it. Secondly, I was saying, if we do need it, we could probably get hold of the new one, which is coming out on the day of the tournament. It's going to be there on the day of the tournament. So can we take that one? Because Ben in the shop, we probably get hold of some. And I said, if not, could you advise where or what we could do to get some? The response I got was, no, you can't use a new mission deck because the rule cut-off day was Sunday, which is fine. That's absolutely fine. And then the next paragraph, well, obviously you need a mission deck for the tournament. And I was just like, well, if it was obvious, I wouldn't be asking you. It doesn't say. I literally then responded saying, we're a bunch of beginners coming to this tournament, and in your what you need to bring doesn't say you need to bring a mission deck, or it doesn't say what we need to bring in that that vein. And bear in mind, beginners in a tournament, like, luckily I asked a question because there's 8 or 9 of us going, and none of us would have been bringing fucking mission decks with us,
It's a bit convoluted, isn't it?
There's a way of being
I think
very
when
clear.
you've gone to the effort of going, here's a list of everything you need to bring. Please note this list is not exhaustive. Please note there may be other things we've not mentioned.
But there's things we haven't mentioned on this list are just common sense.
But it's just like, but it's not common sense. But it's not common sense to us. Like, we don't know that. Like, and then if you look at admission packs or anything like that, they do say it. I then started diving into the Warhammer World ones, and they say you need to bring your mission deck. And I was just like,
well,
why the fuck didn't you guys not say?
I'll literally bring the Leviathan book, and in the back of it, it's got the mission of only war, and the objective is just get on the objective markers. You score points, so your turn. That's it, and it's like, because it's nice and simple when it's like, I said, like common sense, but it's like, because then there's not like the overload of whatever's in this and all the like the overload of all the stuff you need to think about with that. But it's like, I won't bring those just because it's like, if I'm playing a friendly game, I won't be like, right now we're doing the chapter approved Pariah Nexus, we're playing this rule set. But it's like you said, like, it doesn't say you need to bring these because it's common sense. Like, if you're playing a game of Warhammer, like, you would bring these, and it's like,
I thought, bearing in mind that you're paying,
£60.
It's not a cheap amount that they would have had. I don't know.
It was. I mean, one of the things I did say is like, do you have mission decks that we can rent or borrow? Was one of the questions I had asked them as well. Like, can you assist us in this? Like, I think at the end of the day, I am put out by the response that I got, and I will be honest. Like, I wasn't best pleased with it because it's like it's the only complaint I have so far. It's the only complaint I have. Is that like you could have been like, yeah, oh, cool, yeah, by the way, yeah, no, you totally do need it, but if you can't get a hold of it, these are ways that you need to sort it, blah, blah. Thanks for reaching out, really appreciate it. That could have been quite embarrassing. But no, it was like, no, obviously you need a mission deck. Like, are you stupid? I'm like, as an interaction, as a beginner into the Warhammer tournament scene, like, that's already soured my taste of it. And is this a sign of things to come? I don't know.
And it's like, in the context of a tournament, I am stupid. So fucking tell me.
It's like if someone's literally never played a game of or even so like Steve is a beginner in terms of the Warhammer world and in the tournament scene. He's got no clue what I don't know what like a tournament's like. I know that people go there to obviously win, and they're watching all the videos and like all Spectatic saying all these like winning lists. Like I think one of the previous ones that had Death Watch, and he won 10 games straight in a row, and I was just like, oh Jesus! Like, clearly he knows his stuff if he's managed to come out like number 1 out of 10 whole games out of a whole weekend. And it's like, but then you have someone like said like like I've played moderately amount of like 40k, and it's like I know how the game works, like mostly in and out, but like I don't know how tournaments work, so I'm sort of in the same boat as Steve, but I don't know what's to come.
I mean, I screenshotted off the website because I was annoyed today when I got the email. It says who should attend? Seasoned competitors. This is where the best come to compete. If you're ready to rank up and test your skills against top players, you won't find a better stage. First time players. New to tournaments? No problem. Our team provides a welcome in experience so you can focus on enjoying your first professional event. Casual enthusiasts, even if you're not chasing trophies, you'll love the atmosphere, community, and quality of gaming experience at the Bristol GT. Like, so
there's a trophy.
But
I want that trophy.
I mean,
it's called the wooden spoon.
Look, I could be delving too far into all of this, but and I'd like to, give everyone a chance. I actually didn't want to bring it up. I was going to give them a couple of days to see what will come back. However, I've sent a response, and the response I got is out of office, and it'll get back to urgent emails. Like, so I'm just going to sit on that and see what happens. Like, if there's anyone from the UKTC who's got to this end of the podcast and they're listening, like, I feel like, come on, you got to understand there are beginners in this thing, like, but on the flip of it, if it's true what to say, it's very neckbeardy and everyone's a bit this, that, and the other way, he might be seeing me as someone go, oh, can I use the new mission deck because it's going to be better for my army? You know, it may be a more common thread. Like, I don't know. I may turn up there and the guys might be fantastic on it and everything. I don't want this to be the marker of what it is. You know, I don't want this to be I think it's a load of bollocks. Like, you know, but I will say my first interaction in this end of it has not been good and I'm not best pleased. But we will see how it goes, like, you know. But yeah, I think it is what it is. Next podcast, if anyone's listened, got this far, Jack, obviously, please comment saying you love me. But you know,
I love you, Daddy.
But if we get here and we get into the, you know, and the next podcast we'll be telling you how it was. We might come back on the next podcast and say this was the fucking best thing ever. I'm going competitive 40k all the way, like, you know.
I won, boys.
But you don't know, like, you know. So, but it's going to be, and anyone who's listening or anyone who's been at competitive tournaments, if you've got any hints or tips, let us know, because, you know, UKTC ain't helping me. So, but yeah, you know, by all means, any help would come. But yeah, I think, you know, this is where we are. I think it's been an interesting, obviously we've been away for the fortnight. Jack was the only one who noticed. But
first thing I said when I saw Steve, I was like, where's my podcast?
So much so he's turned up to make sure the podcast happens. No, we've had an interesting couple of weeks. It's been very busy at the moment. I think right now it's been the strive getting ready for this tournament. I think we'll be happy in the nicest way to finish the tournament and start delving into a lot more other bits and pieces. I'm very much looking forward to the Horus Heresy, getting those guys going. I think we're hoping if we get an idea, Ben gets an idea of the release date, we might be doing an event at the store. Guys, if you're listening and you're interested and want to come down, if you've got 1,000 points of Horus Heresy and you want to come and play with us, that's the point. All of us are going to try and get 1,000 points.
Josh does, just with one model.
Yeah, painted on the board. We're going to spend the evening learning to play the new game. We'll get the new game box painted up. We're going to have some fun with that, and hopefully with a midnight release is the plan. If that's, you know, if we can go ahead and get all that done. So if you buy a SAS 9 box, you can partake. There'll be painting competitions, all bits and pieces going on there. So yeah, we got that. Obviously, big shout out again to the International Guild of Hobbyists, and we got the charity army. We'll be posting about that over the next couple of weeks, trying to drum some traction. The raffle is August, I believe, so, or late July. So we got a little bit of time there. But yeah, you get to see the armies. They're absolutely fantastic. And for £4, you could win up to 4,000 points of Space Marines all painted. And
if one of us ended up winning it.
I've already put my ticket.
Whoops.
I literally just want that robot girly man, like, you know, that's all I want, like, you know. But yeah, so no, that's
robot gorilla man.
So no, that's that. I don't think there's much else. Obviously, I think it's just.
Well, I was just going to say, Josh and Seb, who aren't frantically last minute painting tournament armies, what have you guys been working on?
I will show you. I'll let Josh talk while I'm grabbing.
Just gets out his Titan.
What have I been working on? I must admit, not a great deal of hobby progress made lately because I'm getting married in less than 2 weeks' time. Sounds
like a pretty poor excuse to me, but you know, fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the only reason that I wasn't at the Games Expo with you guys and everything, because I thought to myself, I can guarantee I'll go up there and contract some sort of convention COVID and just end up like ill for it or something. And I was just like, you know what, I'm not going to do that. Otherwise, I'd be, you know, at the Games Expo and then neckbearding it up at the tournament. I'd be well involved. But I don't want to do that to myself. You spend like obscene amount of money on a single day and then ruin it for yourself ahead of time. So I figured I'd wait those ones out. So yeah, not an enormous amount of hobby progress been going on for me lately. That being said, I mean, there's not an announced release date for Saturnine yet, is there? But
still just
I'm thinking
the summer.
Yeah. I'm like, well, now is the summer, so
Next Sunday, please.
Yeah.
Or probably like August time, won't it? Late July.
Let my bank account have a little bit of a rest from.
Once Ben's allocation of Saturnine boxes has been dished out to me, then I don't know how any of you guys are going to get your ones, but
I'm going to be there at midnight, just like,
can I come in? Can I have it, please?
Like, in terms of like stuff to come out, you've got the Space Wolves characters, so they've all got to come out. There's obviously Spearhead, because they tend to run on that sort of 3-week cycle, don't they? Where you've got like Sigmar 40k, and then Old Worlds or something like that, or Kill Team. So you tend to have like 3 weeks at least 3 weeks before you visit the same thing again. But then actually they've just jumped straight in with that Chaos Knight. So who fucking knows? I don't know. But
Great sprues.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff to come out still. So again, Space Wolves. I think Steve, you're saying you think the Night Quest Stories has been pushed back to September.
So there's rumors going. There's a rumor going around that the Imperial one's been pushed back. So it was meant to be coming out at the same time as the Chaos one. So there is rumors, but I cannot confirm nor deny.
They've also got we're in June now, aren't we? Yeah. There's also
Grand
rumors
Cathay.
that Grand Cathay are apparently maybe going to be this month or next, maybe.
It'd be good to see them, it would. So, but yeah. So what are you working on, Seb? What you been working on?
So I'm having a break from 40k, and I've going for Age of Sigmar. I've been painting up the Iron Jaws. I've gone for a red World of Warcraft Magha Orc style. Sorry, orange even.
You can't do that. Orcs are green. You're not allowed to do that.
But yeah, no, I honestly haven't had so much fun painting in a while. I was sick to death. I was sick to death of painting Custodes. I was done with them before I'd even started, to be honest. And yeah, it's just something really nice and refreshing. They're a really cool model to paint. And to be fair, everything in the box just looks fantastic. So I've got 3 more models in the main box to do. I've absolutely smashed through the Spearhead. But yeah, no, loving these. So I think these will be, I'm going to have 3 Spearheads now, but I think these could end up being my main Age of Sigmar army, but we'll have to wait and see after I've played some Spearhead games.
Yeah. No. I tell you what,
that's me.
I am looking forward to getting this tournament out of the way just to be able to paint stuff I want to paint.
I want to look at the bright yellow like Land Raider. Like it hurts my soul.
That's another. I have another really quick question about tournaments. Jack, talk us through your paint scheme.
So
anyhow, guys, we will catch up with you next week. Goodbye.
That's all we have time for today.
Look at all the colours. So it starts off with a bit of white. It started off with a bit of inspiration from the old classic Noise Marine, with the zebra print, the leopard print, all that kind of stuff. So it starts off with the green for the frills and stuff, then blue on the pauldrons and the arms, and then it goes to red on the weapons, Doomfire magenta for the legs, yellow for the leopard print. We got the bronze and then Corvus Black. I was using that. Corvus Black for the main body section, then Balthazar Gold for the trim, then some silver, then some leopard print. It's only meant to be 3 paints for the tournament for them to be battle ready, and I'm using 10.
Ben is just thinking, what a fucking idiot. Get some sponges and some red paint.
But wait, where's the...
Just gold.
Yeah.
Just gold.
But look how sort of painful it looks at the end result of just leopard print and pain.
See, I like this. I like the scheme because it's kind of like it's so like
I've dubbed him the Megazord.
If you get beaten by that army, you're going to have the worst day of your life.
What I want is for them to look at that on the table and just go, oh, Jesus Christ, what did I roll?
What the fuck?
Ones. Obviously, it was ones because they look at Fulgrim's leopard print wings and are just like my eyes. That's my goal.
Hey.
But that's we've been churning that out. I'm looking forward to just being able to paint whatever I want afterwards, because I painted nothing but leopard print for the last 4 weeks. I don't want to pick up a yellow paint ever again.
I feel like Ben's the only one going like, what do you mean paint what you want to paint? I've been painting what I want to paint. So
Red.
Sanguinius. So yeah. But anyhow, I don't know if there's anything else anyone wants to talk about. I think we could pull this one to a close.
I want to shout out to Ross. You better be watching this. He's my cousin's partner, and he was like, "It's going to be in a podcast." I was like, "Yes, you will watch it."
Yeah, right.
Hi, Mum.
You better, Ross. I'll be watching you, Ross.
If you do,
We'll be known.
you've just improved our listener audience by 50%. So.
You're welcome. It's what I'm here for.
I was going to say, that's more of like an easy come, easy go type thing, right? Because by him being on here, he's decreased it by 50%.
I'm going to watch it.
He's just like,
I'll laugh at all my jokes. This is
Jack,
the best part.
Jack has no net difference.
it's like when you have to find somebody to cover your shift. You had to find somebody to step in and listen to the podcast.
I was just going to say quickly, I'm looking forward to after our little Magnus demo, putting together some RPG one-shot sessions using that Cypher system. I think it's going to be really good fun. Josh, we were talking about it on Saturday morning, and then we talked about it in the car on the way back. But this idea of I love the RPG stuff. I love the world of Warhammer, but I don't think I'd enjoy being a space marine and just rolling dice, as I kind of like imagine myself charging through walls of meat with relative impunity. Whereas,
charging through walls of meat with relative impunity is just your regular buffet.
This is just Thursday.
It's like a long weekend away.
Yeah.
So, would you like any vegetables with that? I'd never heard of that animal before. Is it tasty?
Isn't that Ron Swanson? It's like, I think you've made a mistake.
I did that with a roast dinner once. I went to this restaurant and I was like, "Can I have a roast dinner, but like no vegetables?" And they're like, "Well," I was like, "Because I'm an adult and I can make these decisions. I don't want any vegetables. I just want meat, potatoes."
when we went out over a weekend, Jack, everyone ordered pie and mash, apart from Ben, who ordered a pie, and they said, "Would you like anything else with that?" And he said, "Yes, pork scratchings."
I mean, I can't fault the man. That's
just a meat pie with pork scratchings
and a strong beer.
I thought he was going to say straw. Then he's there with the mash.
A strong ale.
The straw
Right
of
of Doom Bar.
But no, I think again, what we enjoyed about the Magnus stuff was that you are a normal human being who isn't, impervious to damage and stuff like that. So you have to think about stuff, and you have to go, okay, I can't just rely on brute force.
And it's all like flat sort of like team structure. What I liked as well was when we were doing like the lock picking. Like you found a safe, you could have locked pick it, but my character was slightly better at doing it, so I was doing it, but you still could have done it, and there was no.
But then the fun is creating that scenario to go, well, now I need to think of a way to distract you. So Steve, you carry on distracting the NPC, so we can get Jack without raising the eyebrows, and like that stuff is great. And so it got us thinking about. I think like one of the ones hopefully everyone's happy running with is that sort of like Escape from Cadia, where you're just a poor fucking guardsman trying to escape from 8-foot tall Chaos Space Marines, and so you can't rely on just going, oh well, I'll just punch it with my power.
Because you are just. It's like if we transported you into fighting. It's like you are just a bog standard person. You're not special. You're in like overalls that are like probably from 3 people before you that were dead, and they've just given them back to you. And here's like a flashlight. Go and kill that eldritch horror with a flashlight. And it's like. No, I'm gonna run. I think.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Building some of that, rolling some one shot, minimal sex toys.
But yeah, so no. Apart from that, then I think I will pull this to an end, guys. No, thank you so much for being on tonight. Thank to our special guest Jack, our only listener. Thank you for joining us tonight. Shout out to all other listeners. Feral Painter, if you made it to the end, I'm sorry this one's been abysmal.
You got us at a bad time.
No,
but the bar was pretty low.
Yeah, I mean it's always been pretty low. Like if your expectations are low, just set them lower, and then you'll be halfway where we need to be. So apart from that, no, thank you guys, thank you Josh, thank you Ben, thank you Seb for being on. And next time we're on, you'll see either if we love Warhammer 40k or if we decided to go for Star Trek or something like it. So anyhow,
taking up golf instead.
Indeed, it's a cheaper hobby, golf.
Yeah,
I'm not old enough. I don't feel.
So no. Anyhow, thank you guys. Thank you for listening.
I think my tactic, if I'm losing really badly, is just to shout at the top of my lungs, "This man came to me, a 12-year-old boy."
He told me he was 12.
Josh is just sat.
Steve's down there like, oh god, the editing.
Are you okay there?
Josh is there like a father who's just disappointed. Like, it's
so disappointed in his spawn.
It's when you see those memes where you just got the son dancing or doing something stupid, and you just got the father like, what did I create? Like,
I do find it funny, the idea that Jack was like, these are my dads, and like I feel as though had I gone as well, then like you two would have been my sons. It would have been, I'd have been there with Ben holding his hand like, come on, we've got Sanguinius at home.
Like grandfather Josh.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who about Josh, my granddad? Grandfather, where's Sanguinius?
Did you notice the guy in front of us at the queue when I think Steve, you must have been filming something, and I went, "This man came to me a 12-year-old boy," and the one just turned around and was like, a little smile. It was so good.
Oh, brilliant! But anyhow, on that note, if you made
it's gone.
yeah.
Listen, I still don't know where this fucking mouse is meant to go.
Come back next week to find out if we found out where the mouse has gone.
Where's it go?
Has Ben been ejected from the tournament for an illegal list building item?
Oh my god! No. So anyhow, thanks guys, thank everyone. And the last thing is long live Punchy Dave.
Punchy Dave.
Long live Punchy Dave. But anyhow, guys,
And
thanks.
fuck Gregor. Asshole behind the strings the whole time.
All right.
It's like, 'cause Jordan
now
was like,
I want to go home.
I could feasibly go to work on time instead of having to start later, but I don't want to.
All right. Anyhow, goodbye all.